Today on our 2017 Toyota Prius Prime, you're going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to show you how to install the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C56371. This is what our wiring looks like when it's installed. This is going to live inside the vehicle. This is going to give you all the proper lighting functions to safely tow your trailer. You're going to get your both turn signals, your brake lights, your running lights, and your ground. It's going to have a nice dust cap to help keep any moisture, dirt, and debris from your connection points. When not in use, you simply roll it up and it's going to store it inside the vehicle. When you're ready to use it, simply lay it across the rubber seal. You want to make sure you stay away from any points of contact. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let me show you how to get it installed. This is what your wiring kit's going to look like when you get it. What's most important about this kit is this box right here. This is a converter box, and what this is going to do, this is going to protect your factory wiring in your vehicle from any backfeed from your trailer if your trailer wiring has a wiring issue. These are going to plug directly into your existing wiring on your vehicle and then into your taillights. You're going to have a power wire that's going to run up to your battery, and it's going to power your box. The good thing about that is it's not going to draw any power from your taillights. You're also going to get a little bit of silicone, fuse holder, and then in your kit you're going to get some butt connectors. These butt connectors are not waterproof, so we're going to replace them with heat shrink butt connectors, and you can find them on our website. You're also going to get your power wire that you're going to be running to the front. It's going to connect to your battery. First thing we need to do is come in the back of our vehicle and we're going to remove all of our floor coverings. To remove this center panel, we're going to have 4 pushpin fasteners we need to take out. We're going to use a flathead screwdriver, and there's going to be a flat side on the center of it. Just going to pop that out, and you can pull the fastener out. Go ahead and pull this center section out. We're going to take out both side panels. Just going to pull up on them. Next, we'll take a 10mm socket. We're going to remove this bolt here in the front. Next, we're going to start on one side. We're going to remove our rear scuff panel, which is attached to this. We're just going to pull up and pop it out. If your fasteners come out, if you take a trim panel tool, pop them out, you can just slide them back in like that. Next, we're going to pull this off. Inside there's a Phillips screw. We're going to remove that. We're going to do that on the other side also. We're going to pull out our side panel to locate our wiring. This is going to be the wiring on the driver's side. If you have trouble getting this panel out enough to reach back here, there's a little access panel right here on the bottom. I'm actually going to take a trim panel tool. You can use a flathead screwdriver too. I'm going to reach up there and unclip it from the body to make it a little bit easier to work with. What you need to do is push down on this white tab to separate the plugs. Now we're going to take the end of our wiring harness with the brown wire. We're just going to match our plugs on our driver's side. Before we mount our converter box, we're going to go ahead and attach our power wire that we're going to be running to the battery to our black wire coming off our box. Take our heat shrink butt connector, put it in place, and we'll crimp it down. And we'll take our black wire that comes in our kit, strip it back, put it on the other end, crimp it down. And then we'll take a heat source. I like to use a heat gun, and we'll shrink that down. Next, I'm going to take my double-sided tape, it comes in my kit. We'll stick it on our box. Make sure you press it in real good. And this is going to be hard to see while I'm doing it, but right back here, there's a flat spot on the body. It's right back on this edge. We'll peel off our other end. Go ahead and drop my box down. Make sure you press it on there good. It should look something like this when you have it installed. Next, we'll take our ground wire, self-tapping screw, 1/4-inch socket. We need to mount our ground wire to metal. Right here, underneath this panel, it's probably a good spot. Now you just want to make sure your yellow and green wire to your other plug, your black wire going to your battery, and your 4-pole are running underneath your panel. And then we can go ahead and put our panel back in place. Next, I'm going to pull out this grommet here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a slit in it so I can feed all 3 of those through that grommet. I'm going to take my plug, my green and yellow wire, go ahead and push it through the hole. Our 4-pole wire, we're just going to sit right over here for now. Our plug with our yellow and green wire, we're going to feed it through the hole where the grommet was. Go ahead and slide it into that slit where the grommet. We're going to do the same thing with our power wire that we're taking to the front of the vehicle. Next, we'll reinstall our grommet. We're going to take the black silicone that comes in our kit. It's kind of filling around the wires, the slit you made. Just going to help seal it a little bit. Next, we can reinstall our panels. We're going to do it in reverse order from the way we took it out. Keep in mind, your 4-pole is going to live inside the vehicle, so we need to make sure that when we put our panels back in, we're able to have it on top of them. So I'm going to slide it right on the inside of this side panel here. I'll just let it hang out of the car. Then our 4-pole will sit right down in this pocket. Next thing we need to do is we need to remove this center panel. We're going to have some Pushpin fasteners here. We'll take a flathead screwdriver. You're going to pry out the center and pull them out. So we'll have 3 Pushpin fasteners, one here, here, and here. And on the back side, take a flathead screwdriver. It's going to be a large plastic nut. And if you turn it, put a little bit of downward pressure on it as you're doing it, it will come off. Pull that out. We have all of our wires. This is the plug we need to get to. I'm going to go ahead and pull the fasteners off so that I can, it makes it a little bit easier. We'll take a screwdriver. This one's got to be pinched. So I'm going to push up, pull my fastener out like this, like that. So we're just going to push in on this tab, pull our wires apart, and we're going to take our connector and we're just going to match the ends. Push them in until you hear it click. And then we'll just reinstall our fasteners to hold it in place. Next, I'm going to route my power wire up to the front of my vehicle. Let me get that done real quick and I'll show you how I did it. So my power wire, I want to make sure I stay away from anything moving or hot. I went over top of this brace here. There's a factory wiring right here. I zip tied it. Went over top here. My fuel tank is actually under this panel. I went kind of over this top edge, around to here, underneath this panel. My wire actually runs right underneath to right here. Then I took an airline tube, found me a clear spot at the top where my battery is, and ran it down. You can use a wire hanger. You need something kind of stiff. If you have an airline tube like this, feed your wire into the end of it. And then we'll go up top by the battery, pull our airline tube, and it'll bring our wire up. So now we'll just pull up our airline tube. I would double check to make sure your wire is not caught on anything underneath before you do any cutting. Let's take my power wire and route it like this. I'm going to zip tie it right here. I'm going to cut my wire about like that. Strip it back. Add on a heat shrink butt connector. Crimp it down. You're going to take your fuse holder. We're going to take one end, put in our heat shrink butt connector. On our other end, we're going to put our ring terminal. 12mm socket. We're going to remove this nut on the positive side of our battery. You're going to make sure when you make this connection, you don't have the fuse in the holder. Put it on your ring terminal, replace the nut, and you can install your fuse. Next, we'll test out our wiring using part number I26. Brake lights, left turn, right turn, running lights. We're going to put our panel back in place. And that'll do it for a look at and installation on the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C56371 on our 2017 Toyota Prius Prime.